This is Basket Case Clubs, CPR Group's podcast where we turn basket case clubs into showcase clubs.
G'day everyone and welcome back to Basket Case Clubs. My name's Michael Connolly and it is again my privilege and pleasure to take you on this journey of basket casey goodness. Joining me is the ever wonderful Steve Connolly. Hello, Steve.
I sit like this on the edge of my seat, just waiting to see how I'm going to be introduced. And yes, I am ever wonderful.
You know what?
I'm wonderful.
I'm going to ask. I'm
Thank
going to
you.
ask your wife and kids if you're ever wonderful, or if sometimes you wake up and need a cup of coffee before you're wonderful.
No, I'm sometimes not wonderful.
Okay, so the ever wonderful after coffee, Steve.
Mostly,
Mostly
mostly wonderful. Yes. Thanks for having me. I'm excited once again to sit and talk practically, which we did do last time.
A little bit.
At least we started practical.
What our listeners don't know is just before we started recording, Steve said, right, let's get practical. So we've spent the last couple of weeks talking about how to make more money. And believe it or not, the Basket Case Pros are going down some rabbit warrens. And there was a little bit of soul searching last episode that I must admit has made me feel good about myself. We do what we do because we're driven by purpose. And the purpose, now this is, please don't take this as a plug. We, at CPR Group, what we do is help clubs, particularly in our clubs team, is help clubs better understand the business of sport.
That wasn't me. If you can hear those jingle jangle bells in the background, that is the cute poochers who are here for a snuggle.
Yes.
The Basket Case Poochers.
Basket Case Poochers, crikey. And you're just going to see this little dog tail wander through. Gee, this is funny, because he wandered through last episode too.
He did.
So Jess, you're not allowed to cut them out, by the way. All right.
He's
So
checking
joining me
himself
as
out.
usual is Steve and Archie and Lulu. So I don't mean, as the dog now joins us, I don't mean this to sound like a plug, but what we do at CPR Group is try and help clubs better understand the business of sport, and that not-for-profit doesn't mean no profit, and you should be able to generate good income because it's that income that will help you deliver on your purpose.
And there's a lot of money on the table.
There is a lot of money, and there's a lot of money left on the table too.
Yep.
So a big part of the purpose and why I feel good about our discussion last time is that I believe that we are both connected enough with why we do what we do. It's not about the fact that we're going to write a kick-ass constitution. It's not about the fact that we're going to help some poor committee members who are really struggling to better manage their time between their work life, their home life, their social life, and their volunteer life, and haven't played sport in the last 10 years because they've been too busy off the field. All of those are benefits, but it's because sport is such a vehicle for bringing people together in Australia. And a big part of that is that we can, as we talked about, bring people from regional and remote communities. If we do a good job as sport and our clubs are doing a good job, they can help fund these sorts of programs. So look, it's a, as you know, we've talked about this for 25 years. It's a big driver behind what we do. And so all of what a kick-ass strategic plan that you've just done, like it looks schmick and it actually drives connection to that. Those members are connected to that club. You know who I'm talking about. They're connected to that club because they can see themselves in our plan, their plan. That's all really rewarding, but it's nowhere near as rewarding as what can happen if we change mindsets of people over generations of committees to believe in the power of sport like we believe in the power of sport. So in getting practical today, we're now going to explain to you some ways that you can make more money through sport. So obviously the first one was collect all your fees. That's
where we got stuck in our last
Stuck
episode.
there for our whole episode. So that's core business. But now how can we expand on that with other business units? And the first one I want to go to is food, selling food.
And we've said for many years that the only marketing that many clubs do of the food that they sell to the people who are very much a captive market because they are there at their premises.
Trapped for an entire match length
or the day for a carnival. And in the majority of cases, we don't just
2 days for cricket.
2 days for cricket. We don't just have a fast food joint across the road. In many cases, we've got this captive market that are genuinely ours, yet all we do to market the food that we can sell to them is to open the roller door and maybe put a couple of lolly boxes out on the counter.
Because you said that when we talked about it in our marketing mini-series.
Yep.
You talked about the lolly boxes.
And it's probably because
You
I'm a
want
bit
some
of a lolly
lollies?
fiend.
Give us some lollies, Steve.
A lolly
Yeah,
fiend.
get you some lollies for next
I have
episode.
two weaknesses. Not the wine that's sitting in front of me, but the reality is my weaknesses are lollies and donuts. Put them together and I am in real trouble.
Hang on. Lamington fingers.
Oh yeah, you're right. There are more than two. I've already pointed to a fourth.
Maltese.
I have weaknesses, right? No,
Yeah.
not Maltesers. They're
Oh,
yours.
they're mine.
Yeah, they're
I
yours.
was just wondering because I also like Lamington fingers. So I'm thinking, I like Lamington fingers. You like Lamington fingers.
I knew I wasn't alone.
Mm.
So this is for me a huge missed opportunity in many clubs' cases.
Yep.
And this apply. We were talking about golf last week, and the same is true. Why is it not really easy for me to just get a quick bite to eat after the night? Why do I have to? Why is it a pain in my backside to do so? Make it and clubs that resist the idea of having a roaming food or drink cart across their golf course. Make it easy for people to spend money with your business. Take the service to them. And we've talked for years about the idea, which some of our clients have implemented, which is get some young helpers walking around the courts or playing fields with an esky and a bum bag, or now a little square card reader. Take the food and drinks to the people and make it really easy for them to purchase from you.
Yep. It's not only about the money, like you said, make it easy for people to give you money. This is also about value adding to their experience.
Give them
if
good
they have a good
service.
experience, the fact that they've slipped you a few extra bucks is actually a byproduct
Yep.
that they don't remember. What
Yeah.
they remember is the great experience that they've had.
And set yourself apart. Imagine the club that does that compared with every other freaking club in their competition that doesn't do that.
So,
Oh, well, ABC Sports Club will bring food to us on
Yeah.
the sideline.
yeah.
All of
Or
a sudden.
even hot chocolate and coffee.
Yep.
So on a cold winter's morning and an 8 o'clock match at a netball carnival where everyone's rugged up with scarves and beanies, the club that is going to win is the one that says, hey, we're taking orders for hot drinks. Would you
Yep.
like something? Yes, please. Like, take my money.
Yep.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah. Jess said to me one time, Steve, hey, Dad, do you get a kickback from Square?
We should.
We should.
Bloody well should.
We
And
should.
Zero, I sell a lot of zero.
Yeah, funny that. Anyway, no, we don't, is the answer.
Yet.
Yeah. So we did talk about this when we were talking about marketing,
Yep.
but I don't want to go through everything when we
Yep.
when we were talking about the canteen there, but the model of the canteen is a good starting point. So is the model the old traditional model that's run by reluctant volunteers who just happen to be, and they say, what do you want? And they're like, there's your food, give me your money. What do you want? Like, they're reluctant because they're forced into the canteen on a roster system. Now, okay, if you're gonna persist with the volunteer model, fine, but it doesn't have to be a volunteer only model. It can change, and it's best if it changes because you're making a decision. You're not letting the cart wag the dog, tail wag the horse. You know what I'm saying? It's about deliberate decisions to say, this is what we want to be. So are we going to outsource the canteen? Are we not going to have a canteen, and we're actually going to focus on service delivery? So improving the level of service and just saying every Friday night, we're going to have 4 food trucks.
Yep.
We're going to have the pizza place, the Mexican, oh, yum.
Yep.
The Brazilian food and the Greek
Hamburgers.
things. No, the
Loaded
Greek
fries.
things.
Oh, I'm obviously hungry.
We call loaded fries in French poutine.
Poutine.
Poutine. Like, why don't they just call them loaded fries? Like poutine, because it sounds like the president of Russia a little bit, and it also sounds
fancied
like
up a
a
little bit.
tin that you do poo in. Like,
Yeah.
like why don't you just call them loaded fries? Because loaded fries, anyway.
It's a shit house name.
Or are you going to do a profit share arrangement? So that's the other one that we talked about. Now, to reiterate, the most important thing if you're going to do a profit sharing arrangement with You're basically outsourcing it, but you're saying you run it. If you want to make $1 million a year, make $1 million a year. It's just you'll also be paying us $1 million a year. What I very unfortunately have seen happen is people get greedy and they go back on that and they say, well, hang on, they're making $1 million a year. If we went and run it ourselves, we'd make $2 million a year. Don't get greedy.
Yep.
If this is the incentive, it works because of the incentive.
Yep.
So your point about the captive market is critical. These are people who are there. So then as far as mixing up our offering goes, you don't have to stick with the same menu for a whole year. It's hot in summer, sell lots of frozies. It's cold in winter, sell lots of lasagna and soup and minestrone. And now I'm hungry.
And hot chocolate. Yep.
And hot chocolate and coffee.
Yep.
So warm things. So now I want to talk about promotion. A lot of clubs, and you can do this for your own club, but I want you to do it for your clubs as well. Go and have a look at some of their Facebook pages. They're doing a really good job with things like player profiles, where they'll have, like it comes up like it's the state of origin, the record and, goals for, against, whatever. Really cool stuff. And it's actually that stuff and we talked about this in marketing, so we don't need to go through it again, but it's that stuff that generates an emotional connection. So it's that stuff that's really, really good.
And value. If you think about a mum or dad seeing their kid in a high production value photo with all the stats against their name, like
standing there,
little player card. What were they?
Trading card.
Trading card. Thank you.
They used to come with bubble gum. It was always awful.
Yeah, but the card was good. Again, parents again. That's going to separate that club from every other club in that league.
Or those that don't do it.
All those that don't do it get left behind.
Yeah. But how many are actually doing a good job with their canteen? Because you can actually use marketing for all of your business units. So that's where we did talk about this when we talked marketing, but this is really important to talk about when we want to actually make money. If you've got good food, then let people know you've got good food because it's part of the experience that they're buying. What you want to do is, and this is one of those secrets that I said I'd be giving away. It's like magic. Like there's value that clubs aren't letting people know about. They're already giving tremendous value, but they're not shining a big spotlight on it saying, hey, look at this part. So they're saying, we talked about how much a season of sport costs. And if it's $300, if you then decide, because when we get to the end and we say pricing is a really important part of this, that you want to put your fees up, you should always have some increase in perception of value that you're offering at the same time as you're increasing the fees. You might have been doing this, but so I'll take this for me because I haven't been doing it well enough. I haven't been letting our clubs know that there's plenty of value that they are providing that they're not shining a spotlight on. So while we've been doing the whole thing about the level of service and it's important to be priced accordingly, any price increase ideally should be linked with an increase in the perception of value that you're offering to the customer. That value typically already exists. Now, the reason that we're doing that is either to close the deal. So if somebody's umming and ahhing about what they're going to get if they front up with this $300 because it's going to break the bank for a season of football, then you can add value to say, oh, but did you know it also includes this? So if you're giving away socks for free, don't give the socks away for free. Include the socks as a value add. So yes, you pay this, but we're also going to give you free this. So shine a spotlight on it. And if people just say, yeah, take my money, then great, that's good. But then if it's not $300, but it's like your golf club example and it's thousands of dollars, then when they get home, their onboarding process, which could be a series of emails that they receive over the next 4 weeks, reminds them of the fact that they've made a really clever purchasing decision. You are such a clever person. You've made a really clever decision in joining our club. And then you remind them of why that's clever. And it's always something new. So did you know, as part of your membership, you get this many dollars worth of range balls included in your price? Or you can say, no, I wouldn't say for free because you're shining a spotlight on it. As a value add, you also get $100 worth of range ball tokens. And they're often just including that. Did you know that?
And a lot of people aren't necessarily going to take it up. So you're giving away nothing, but you're gaining the value of the perception that you're giving something away.
So I'm talking specifically about sport here, but imagine, I'll take you to a buying experience I had when I bought one of my red V8 Holdens. I say one-off. Crikey, I'm a bogan. I do wear it on my sleeve though. Nerd
Along
on
with
this
your wet
sleeve,
blues. Yeah.
bogan on this sleeve. Yeah. Yeah, no, they weren't all V8s. My red Holdens weren't all V8s. Anyway, with one of them, it was a club sport, by the way. I didn't know that this was going to happen, but they sent me this back. You got one. You got one of the leather compendiums with club sport embossed on
They
it.
sent you double, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How cool was that?
Especially for me, because I didn't have to drive around in the Bogan Commodore.
And I tell you what, because of that, if they still bloody made them, I would have bought another
There
one
you
by.
go.
I
That's-
would have bought
yep.
another several by now. God,
Yep.
it was a good car.
But you're right.
Ah, rest in peace.
That's the rusted on raving fan win that clubs aren't striving for in the way that
Yep. Exactly.
for-profit businesses are.
Yeah, and they can because they've
Yep.
got all of that value. They're just giving
And
it away
more.
without shining.
Yeah.
Without shining a spotlight on it. So the expensive golf club example is easy because it's low hanging fruit. You get your $300 of bar credit. You get your range balls. You get your however many days per week that you can come and play on the course without having to pay any green fees. You get cart hire for so many times a year. Whatever it is, you get to bring a guest. You get to bring a guest, despite the fact the guest still has to pay. They get access to a course that they wouldn't have otherwise had access to. Most clubs have these things that they're just bundling in and not shining a spotlight on it. So that's a fantastic way to generate more value in what you're doing. So with an increase in price should come an increase in the perception of value. So back to the canteen, because that's where this whole thing started. Remember that you don't just, as Stephen said, you don't just have to unlock the door, roll up the shutters and push the lollies to the front. You can go and make increased sales by actually taking the food to where the people are. There are so many opportunities.
I wonder if part of the reason that volunteer committees and the canteen coordinators that run these canteens that we're talking about don't go and proactively sell their products is because there's almost a feeling that they shouldn't be making too much money.
I reckon you're right in some cases, at least.
we shouldn't be detracting from that privately owned fast food joint down the road. Yeah, bullshit. You shouldn't.
Because where's your money going?
Absolutely.
The real purpose. See last episode.
Yep.
Like, yes. But where I was going with the whole promo thing and the player profiles is you can do exactly the same thing with your canteen offerings. Like we said.
Showcase your meal deals.
Showcase your. But who invented the mixed mega burger? Oh, I would love to invent a Reuben. Do you like Reubens?
McDonald's.
McDonald's. Oh, terrible. Do you like Reubens?
Yes, I do like a Reuben sandwich.
I would
wish
love
my
to
name
invent.
was Reuben.
But I'd have a Reuben, but I would include pickled jalapenos as well as the pickles.
Okay.
How good would that be?
Yeah,
Well, it would be
I
a
agree.
certain market. I would like it. I would buy one. But then have a photo of the person who invented the sandwich there.
Yep.
And
Okay.
if it's Mama's secret recipe lasagna, who's Mama?
Yeah.
Like actually have Mama say, this is my secret recipe. We don't say homemade anymore because of food preparation legislation and licensing with councils, which is all good because if I'm eating at the club, I do not want salmonella poisoning. Yeah. The food's expensive, but the salmonella's free. That's not value adding.
But there are clubs that do a really good job of separating themselves from the pack by having the thing, they do home cooked meals. They do
House
cooked meals.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Traditional recipe.
rustic. Yeah, that's it.
Rustic.
Um,
Not rusty.
Not rusty. So there are clubs with which we've worked. There are teams for which and against which I've played when I played sport myself that were known for the food that they would put on for the players after a game.
Yep.
Or that was available for
and
purchase.
They're hangers on.
Yep.
So the significant others who turn up for a senior game of football
And even if
actually get a decent feed.
Yep. That's it.
So
So
mum, who doesn't have to cook that night. And remember, and I do not mean this to sound sexist, but if you get into the hearts and minds of the mums, then they are the ones who often drive purchasing decisions.
Yep.
So mums make decisions to get kids into football, sometimes also called soccer,
Yes.
because it's a non-contact sport.
Yep.
Now, you can see some of the injuries on my body that came from playing a non-contact sport. I know you played football, and I've certainly seen it be
Yep.
not non-contact for you.
Yep.
But mum's made those decisions.
Yes.
And if the food is good and good enough to mean that that can be where we eat tonight, then that's a win. It's a win for mum.
Yeah.
It's a win for the family, but it's a win for the club as well.
And there
That's really important.
And there are some clubs that do that so successfully that mums with kids, families with kids who aren't even playing that sport at all or have no other connection with that sport
Guilty.
will go
Yeah.
to eat that food on
Yeah.
that night
Yep.
and watch a game if the interest takes them at the moment, but they'll probably
They're
just
there
be
for
there
food.
for the food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The game might keep them there for a second purchase. They might
Yep.
go back for seconds.
Yep.
I have been known to travel across Greater Brisbane to get a fake burger.
Yep.
Oh, Steve, I'm very sorry to say we're going to have to pull up stumps again. Are you
That
surprised?
gives me an excuse to come back next time. I hope you'll have me back.
Yeah. We might end up being in the same clothes again.
Yes.
Next time.
Probably will.
So this has been a fascinating journey because we don't seem to be getting very far through. And what's happening, again, I'll take the bullet for this one. I'm getting excited about this stuff. The reason I get excited about this stuff is there are so many opportunities for clubs to make more money than they're making. We've just talked about collecting fees, and we've talked about payment plans or eliminating payment plans because then you get your money. Oh, what we didn't talk about was early payment discounts.
Yes, just like your rates. And we have touched on this in the past. It's such a great psychological trick to say,
Yep.
pay us this amount, but if you pay us a little early, you get it cheaper.
Now, there's probably people listening who are saying, but I don't want to give them a discount. We need that money. Well, let me let you in on a little secret for what councils do and what electricity suppliers do. The amount that you pay with the, gee, I hope I don't get kneecapped for this. The mafia's going to come out and get me for giving away the giant
The energy mafia are coming after you.
Actually, if there's a mafia that I'd be worried about, it would be the energy
That's a
mafia.
good point.
Yeah. The amount that you pay when you get your early payment discount is the actual amount. If you pay late, that's like a penalty. So what I'm saying,
But it's all
or
in the
maybe
promo, or not
saying, is that it's actually a levy or a tax for paying late. You can do the same thing. That's that's the thing that, like I said, gets me out of bed. Is there are so many opportunities here that you can do exactly the same thing, and then people who do pay late have missed the early payment discount. You're making extra money. It's actually going to cost you a bit extra because you've got to do the administration because they're going to bitch and moan.
Yep.
But that's the secret. So these are the things that I really want to share because there's so much in this, and this is why it's exciting, and this is why we have been drawn down another tangent. I really hope that we make it to the end next episode.
But this is also stuff that is applied day in, day out in the real world of business, but it's only because we think so differently in the world of not-for-profit business that it's not applied there as well. And we're being the square, comment that we touched on earlier. And no, while we don't get a cut from Square every time we mention them, they've disrupted the market in a fantastic way, in my opinion. And we now operate in an environment where if you don't offer digital payment options, card payment options, you are seen as the odd one out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a fantastic example of where we now have made available to not-for-profit businesses this age-old merchant facility that makes it easy for people to spend money as long as they've got a little piece of plastic credit card that you can't, or a watch,
or their phone.
Yes. Soon to be a little chip in our thumb, I'm sure.
Your eyeball.
Yeah, that so there's no excuse to not offer that payment option now. And I think that we're going to continue to see more of that expectation change or shift. But until we do, the clubs that are leading the way, I don't know where I'm going with this.
No, the clubs that are going, where you're going is that the clubs that are leading the way are going to be the clubs that make all the money.
Yes.
And the
Thank
clubs,
you. That's exactly what I was going to say.
The clubs that are being, and I don't mean this derogatorily, but some of the clubs that are being too traditionalist are going to get left behind.
Yes.
Now, they will be able to play catch up, but it is going to get harder and harder for them to do so.
And some have been left behind. Some have gone belly up.
Yeah, we don't have them anymore.
Yep. So don't become one of those statistics. Recognize that there are solutions out there that are applied in the real world of business, and there's absolutely no excuse anymore to not apply them in the world of not-for-profit business.
Absolutely. Great way to finish.
I agree.
Steve, I know that
You're welcome.
Yes. For your words of wisdom. Steve, I know that you will join me next time because I'm going to lock the door to my studio just there and you'll be trapped in here. And so you'll have to join me next time.
Happily.
While you ponder joining us next time, which of course I know that you will. In the meantime, go and check us out on social media. The links will be in the description here. If you missed the webinar that we held on the 3rd of July, give us a call, send us an email, contact us, and we'll be able to send you a recording of that session because it's a great way to share that with the rest of your committee. I know that you're invested, but is the rest of your committee invested? So that's a great way that you'll be able to share that with them. And of course, share Basket Case Clubs with them. The last thing I want you to do, because you are a wonderful person, is subscribe to the podcast. Because when you subscribe, then you'll get notified when we release new episodes. And if you know us, there have been some gaps. And
some lulls.
Always a surprise. It's like Christmas morning, waking up and being surprised that Santa's brought you a brand new Ferrari. But it's better. It's the Basket Case Bros. Thank you for joining us. Steve, see you next time. Looking forward to seeing you again.
See you next time. Ciao.
Basket Case Clubs acknowledges the traditional custodians of the country on which we record, being Yugambeh, Turrbal, Jagera and Kabi Kabi land. We recognise their enduring connection to land, waters and culture, and pay our respect to elders past, present and emerging, and extend that respect to First Nations listeners.